I let it go for about $40.
$40?
Look, man, $35. That's the lowest I can go. You're killing me.
Okay, 35.
Alright, what's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy imKingKenneth, back with another video. And today, we have to have a conversation about modern gaming, because quite frankly, it sucks. And that isn't hyperbole. And I'm sure a lot of y'all that clicked on this video, at least somewhat agree with that statement. Or at the very least, understand what I'm saying. And with the stuff that's been happening for the past few weeks, you can very much see the reasons why. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the overpricing of gaming, the potential political reasons that could be involved in this, and overall arguments that could be said within each side of the spectrum. So with that being said, let's not waste any more time and head straight to the video. Alright, so first off, let's just address the elephant in the room, Nintendo. Because I'm sure everybody heard it by now about how Nintendo is being greedy out here. Like straight up Mr. Krabs timing. But in case you don't know about it, Nintendo just announced their Nintendo Switch 2 with its release date and pricing. It will come out on June 5th, with the price being $450, which at first honestly kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But considering consoles over the years being around a similar price at launch, and the overall quality increase of the Nintendo Switch 2 compared to the original Nintendo Switch, it is somewhat justified, even though especially in this current market, it is very expensive. Like we all see how expensive eggs are. But if you think that's bad, just wait for what I'm about to say next. As one of its main games, Mario Kart World, is literally $80. By the way, I'm American, so I'm talking USD here. But I did check other currencies, whether it's yen, euros, pounds, etc. And from what I've seen, the game is expensive wherever you go. Even if it's slightly cheaper or even more expensive in America. And just to clarify, this $80 price tag does not apply to every game. In fact, Donkey Kong Bonanza is around $70, which to be honest too is expensive. Ever since the PS5 and Xbox came out, games cost $70 now, or should I say $75, because we all know that state tax and sales tax come with it. Yeah, I remember when games cost $65, $59.99 retail. That was expensive then. I remember when I was younger, begging my parents to buy me games. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate with this, but they will only buy games whenever you get a good grade, if it's your birthday or Christmas. It's rare for them to buy games randomly. But now, I feel for kids, because it will take a lot of convincing to not only buy a console, but just to buy one game.
But if you buy the game itself, this got a lot of attention. I don't know if you've seen $80. That's a lot for a game.
Yeah, I would say that we're not really looking to establish a benchmark for pricing. We look at every game and every experience and determine what we believe is the right price point based on that experience. Other games, like you mentioned, Donkey Kong Bonanza, it's going to be at a $70 price point because that is what we feel is the right price point for that particular gaming experience.
So there's no standard price, basically.
There's no standard price.
What about for third-party titles? Is that kind of up to the developer?
That's exactly right. It's really their choice based again on the type of gameplay experience that they're bringing.
And my problem with this is not just Nintendo, it's the entire gaming industry. It feels like gaming is more money based and trying to get the consumer to get more money rather than trying to fill the consumer's needs. Aside from overpriced games, there are times the price that's not much the gameplay. And then companies want you to buy DLC, cosmetics, or put microtransactions in their game just for people to buy more money. Whereas back then, 10, 20 years ago, while it was DLC, it felt completely optional and just overall enhanced the experience. But now it feels like all these things are mandatory, and developers and publishers put in less effort into their games and intentionally do these things just for a chance that the gameplay could be better for them. I'm not saying everybody does that, but a lot of people do. And you see a lot of this happening in sports games. And before anybody comments that I just play Fortnite, 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, hence why I'm making these arguments, I do want to say I play games, with my favorite genre being fighting games. And honestly, I tend to play more retro games than modern games for these very reasons. Not to mention single player games. And I could make an entire video about modern sports games and how EA and 2K ruin these games and how COD don't hit the same. But let me know in the comments if you want to see that video. And my biggest concern, that should be everybody's by the way, is how Nintendo's prices could ruin gaming. You don't think Sony and Microsoft are looking at this to see how they could do it? Even if you could argue that the games justify an $80 price tag, not every game simply has to. Whether it's because of production value, the franchise, or the gameplay is simply not being good. But people don't care. But these companies are going to see this and watch the next games come up in pricing. And that is what concerns me about GTA 6. We don't really know how much it will cost, even when it will come out this year. But considering Rockstar took 12 years to drop, after milking GTA 5 to death, don't be surprised if GTA 6 ends up being $80. Hell, even more. I would be very surprised if it ends up being $70. I also do want to address the tariffs going on in America, because even though this is not a political video, a lot of people are concerned about tariffs in gaming and the tariffs in general, especially since Nintendo paused pre-orders and people think it would cost more now. But Trump did pause the tariffs and apparently it's not covering electronics. But either way, as I mentioned earlier in the video, everything's expensive worldwide, so it's just not a US problem. And as I was doing research for this video, I couldn't find anything that Nintendo's been directly involved in this. So I don't really know, but we just have to wait and see what happens. But it is just crazy to me how expensive expensive the world is nowadays. And now companies are so filled with corporate greed that they literally don't care about the consumer. That literally buys the product. That literally makes them rich. And that doesn't apply to just entertainment. That applies literally everywhere. Tickets are going up, food is going up, insurance is going up, and we can't do anything about it. And even though inflation and the pandemic is part of the reason as to why it's happening, it should and could be prevented. And if it's not prevented, we could literally go through a recession. And if history repeats itself again, we can go through a modern day Great Depression. And before I end the video, I want to say I enjoy gaming. I'm a lifelong gamer if you can't tell already. I got a Nintendo Switch right here, a PS5 you can't see right here, and I'm currently recording this on my PC. All that to say, I'm a fan of gaming, especially Nintendo. So I'm saying this not about gaming or Nintendo. I'm saying this so that it could be better for the company and the consumer. And the one thing that sucks though is that no matter what, it's that due to the fact there's no other options besides maybe PC gaming, we have to buy these games for its prices. And that will unfortunately unintentionally make companies think it's a good thing to give away our money to these companies. Literally, unless you emulate it or maybe buy a Steam Deck, there are literally no other options. And I know that unfortunately for me, I'm going to buy GTA 6 for whatever price it is. And while I'm not going to buy the Nintendo Switch 2, I know a lot of people will. Personally, I'm waiting for the price to drop. But knowing Nintendo, it's not going to drop for like the PS5 and Xbox Series X came out almost 5 years ago, and it cost the same amount of money as it did back then, and you can literally buy it anywhere now. One last thing before the video ends though, I know people are bring up indie gaming and support indie gaming, which I do agree with by the way, but what makes indie games so special is the fact that it's indie, not that they don't have much production value, and it's essentially underground. While we could argue about how indie games are in certain ways better than AAA games, at the end of the day, people are going to buy AAA games due to its popularity, and if it wasn't for AAA games, indie games wouldn't exist, and that's the standard is set by these games. The same thing applies for literally any field of entertainment too. Like I said, music, sports, movie, TV, literally anything you can think of. And while like I said before, not every game I said in this video is like that, a good portion is. So just keep that in mind and make sure you buy your games very precisely. But yeah, that's it for the video, y'all. Hope you enjoy. And if you do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more videos, and I'm gonna catch y'all later. Join my Discord by the way, link in the description. And of course, let me know in the comments how you feel about what I said in this video and your sense of money gaming. Also, while we at it too, follow me on Twitch. With all that being said though, I'm imKingKenneth, and I'm out this bitch. Peace out, y'all.
Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Okay.